looking to relocate to the Charlotte metro region, but you're looking for a place with great schools, lower property taxes, and a desirable location, let me give you one clue. It's not Fort Mill, but it is close. Let's take a look at this amazing area to live in south of the border. If you guessed that we are in Indian Land, South Carolina, you would be 100% correct. Nestled between Waxhaw, North Carolina and Fort Mill, South Carolina, this pocket of land that felt very rural in its past, those days are long gone. Today, it feels like a very urbanized area. It is 30 minutes from uptown Charlotte and 30 minutes from Charlotte Douglas Airport. It's also got a population of about 33,000 people, and it is not remote at all because if you're looking for shopping and entertainment, you've got that at your fingertips right in this town. The number one reason that people choose to live in Indian Land, South Carolina is for lower property taxes. The property tax rate here is 0.64%, which means that on average, you're gonna pay way less in this area than you would in North Carolina. Let me give you an example. If you had a 4-bedroom home that was valued at $500,000 in Charlotte, you would pay about $3,200 in property taxes. Whereas here in Indian Land, South Carolina, for a 4-bedroom, also valued at $500,000, you would pay about $2,200 in property taxes. However, there is a caveat to living in South Carolina. This only applies to primary homeowners because in South Carolina, if you're not a primary homeowner, you're assessed at a completely different rate. If you are a primary resident here, your property is going to be assessed at 4%, which is very different from the investor rate. Another thing about living in South Carolina is that it's much more favorable towards veterans. South Carolina will give you 100% exemption on a disabled veteran, and they'll give you 100% exemption on military retirement dollars. You also are going to be able to take advantage of the homestead exemption here in South Carolina. The second pro of living in Indian Land, South Carolina is the schools. Yes, we all know that Fort Mill is the #1 school system in South Carolina. And number 2 is Clover. But Indian Land is a formidable competitor. They actually have several schools that rank very highly, including the one right behind me called Indian Land Intermediate School. This is a middle school that is ranked 10 out of 10 according to greatschools.org. Why is this important? Well, whenever I have a client that's interested in having good school rankings, including their elementary school, the middle school, and the high school, I typically send them to areas like Ballantyne, Huntersville, and Concord. Now, here, Indian Land, Waxhaw, and Fort Mill, which are right within proximity of each other, all have very highly ranked schools. So if you're looking for great schools, but you don't want to pay the sticker price that's often on Fort Mill homes and Waxhaw homes, Indian Land is a really, really good option. The third pro of living in Indian Land, South Carolina is that you're literally right across the border from Charlotte, North Carolina. Here we are in Ballantyne, which is only 15 minutes away, and you get to enjoy things like the Bowl, including OMB, which is right behind me, and other places like Brewster, Bossy Beulah's, and Postino. You're also very close to Fort Mill downtown as well as Waxhaw downtown. Both of those are amazing places to visit. And you are literally 30 minutes away from uptown Charlotte if you work in the financial district, and you're just 30 minutes away from Charlotte Douglas Airport if you want to jump on a plane and get out of town. If you want to take a break from these record high temperatures, you can hang out at OMB and grab a bourbon, or make sure you don't take a break from my content by subscribing to the channel, commenting below, and tapping that bell for notifications so you never miss any of my future videos. Pro number 4 to living in Indian land has got to be the shopping, the retail, and the entertainment. Whether you're looking to grab a bite to eat at Jim and Nick's or Famous Toastery, or whether you have a home improvement project that you want to get into and you need some supplies from Lowe's, you will be able to access what you need and more. There's also a movie theater nearby called Redstone 14, and there's Carolina Lakes Golf Course. You also have access to Fort Mill, just 15 minutes away, where you can find great restaurants at places such as Kingsley and Baxter Village. Some of my favorites are going to be Fish Market, Napa, and Epic Chop House. The 5th reason that people enjoy living in Indian land, South Carolina, is the opportunities for real estate, particularly new construction. There's tons of builders out here, including Lennar and KB Homes. Since Indian land is sandwiched between Waxhaw and Fort Mill, you're going to be able to get a slightly better price down here. So in Fort Mill and in Waxhaw, you're going to spend about $665,000 for a new construction single-family home, whereas in Indian land, you're going to spend about $615,000. If you're not purchasing new construction in South Carolina, there is an actual caveat to buying a pre-owned property here. If you are buying a resale home in South Carolina, you will not have to go through the same process that you do in North Carolina. On the North Carolina side, we typically ask our buyers to present both due diligence and earnest money, which means that you have 2 checks that you have to fork over to a seller. Due diligence is a fee that you cannot get back unless you go to closing or unless the seller breaches. In South Carolina, we do not use due diligence. We use only the earnest money deposit. However, if you do decide to terminate a contract in South Carolina, you will be responsible for a termination fee. The Bowl at Ballantyne is just one of the many places that you get to enjoy if you live in Indian land, South Carolina. My name is Yadi Karina Jones. I'm a real estate agent with Lifestyle International Realty. I service both North and South Carolina y también hablo español. If you're interested in the area of Indian land, South Carolina, please feel free to reach out to me using any of the contact information below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.